It's about time we show WCW some love up in here. What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday night. Back for another classic pay-per-view watch along tonight. WCW Spring Stampede 1998. Kind of forced this one through. The members did choose this, but I put the poll up, I think, very late on Thursday, like in the middle of the night. And I'm like, I'm just going to go with whatever the results say in the morning. So I did not give you guys very much of a heads up on this poll, but 1998 did win with over 45, I think, percent of the vote. So we're going to do Spring Stampede 1998. I put a handful of WCW pay-per-views up there because no matter what we did this week, I wanted to make sure we did a WCW show because it's been a while. And I think May is going to have a lot of WWE stuff, and we still need to do an ECW show at some point. So I figured this week we need to cut the shit and do WCW. So I don't know how this one is going to interest most folks, but when I looked at the card, I was kind of interested in the card. I think this one's headlined by Sting and Macho. And we also have on the undercard here a match between Davey Boy Smith and Kurt Hennig, which is just crazy to think about in 1998 in another company other than WWE. And a couple of people have mentioned Goldberg and Saturn, I think, opens the show up. Pretty good amount of matches on this show, so it should be a fun watch. A lot of us remember 1998 very fondly. This was a scary time for WCW because I did not catch the actual date on this show. If We Are Pro Wrestling is here, he'll confirm all of this. But this is probably right at the exact same time that WWE won in the ratings for the first time in 83 or 84 weeks, whatever it was, during the Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin hand behind the back segment on Raw. That was right around this time. And of course, WWE's April pay-per-view was Unforgiven in 98. I was there for that Dude Love and Stone Cold match. And WCW ran Spring Stampede 1998. So that's what we're going to watch tonight. Interesting time in both companies, and especially WCW. This was April 19th, 1998. So we just missed the 25-year anniversary of the show 4 days ago. So quarter century old. Thank you, We Are Pro Wrestling. 6 days after the 83-week streak ended was when this show aired. So that's pretty crazy. And I would be at Unforgiven the following week, as I know that date is April 26th. And I was there for the Inferno match and all that stuff on WWE's end of things. So we're going to take a look at WCW tonight, show these guys some love, and see what kind of show they're going to give us. Let's say hi to everybody here in the chat. I know I got a couple of super chats in here that I need to knock out, as well as shouting out all these members. Let's hit you guys first. Zane G. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. It's nice to see so many people in here that I've actually met in person now, which is kind of cool. Zane G, Michael Cuomo, Vash Starwin, Tatanani, Jay Lambo's here, JJ Leg, the OG, Zach Palgett, I'm here for you, man. The scroll is all for you. You're the only reason I do it. Fox Star Killer, very generous $20 drop. Thank you for that, my friend. All right, getting to be a part of the fun again, since I don't need to be up until 7:30 tomorrow. 7:30 a.m. Is that considered late? That's butt crack of dawn for Greg. But I'm glad that you have a little bit of time to actually hang out with us, Fox Star Killer. I'm actually going through the entire Monday Night Wars period on the network right now. I'm currently on July 98, so you just passed this. So this is pretty good timing, I guess, for you then. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you for that generous super chat. And I'm so glad you get to hang out with us tonight, even though you don't have to wake up until 7:30, which to me is still crazy early. That's because I stay up till 4:30 every night. That's why 7:30 sounds crazy to me. Who else we have in here to say hi to? Alan Carter, Max Pokebra, Jay Lambo, I think I got you. The Juliet is here. So is Ramon Coffee. And so is George Morris chiming in with his token $5. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? And how is Tito? I don't remember Spring Stampede 98. What happened on the show? All I know, we were headed into the summer of 98. Best ever. Summer of 98 was fun. I attended a lot of shows that year and a lot of fond memories. I don't remember too much of this show either. I definitely did not buy it on pay-per-view. I probably read the results at best back then, or called the hotlines or whatever I did to find out what happened on the show. But I was pretty much pretty focused on WWE around this time. So you will be watching it together, George. Tito, of course, is always doing great. I just posted a picture of him on social media, Twitter and Instagram, of him catching some SoCal Rays right back there on his little tower underneath the championship belts. So he was my little triple champion getting a suntan today. And now he is asleep under my feet. So Tito is doing well. Let's see, who else do I have to say hello to? Mike, I'm not sure if I got you either. That rounds out the channel members. So let's get everybody else. Rodrigo, good to see you. Mick Thomason, what's up, my friend? WWE fan for life is here. Matthias Kafer, hello. First watch along. Glad you're here, buddy. We're going to be hitting play all together in just a second. Jose and Santiago, the Pokemon Masters. Good to see you. No, of course you're not too late. Ryan Adams in the house. Ray Frand. We Are Pro Wrestling is always here to help us out with some of our trivia that we need help with. Big J, good to see you as well. Who else is here? Adam Urbanski in the house. Ray, I got you. Nicola, good to see you as well. And anybody else I missed, I apologize, but I'm sure I'll hit you once we get going. So if this is your first watch along, what we do is we watch on Peacock. So you need to go over to the Peacock, pull up WCW, find Spring Stampede, and locate season 3, episode 1. So it's going to be season 3 of Spring Stampede 1998, episode 1, 2 hours and 40 minutes and 4 seconds is the runtime according to Peacock. We will all hit play together in just a couple of minutes. And once we do, the timer above my head will begin to run. Once it starts running, just sync up with the timer. That way, if you have an issue, if I have an issue, if anybody has an issue, as long as you match up your Peacock to the timer, that's how we do it. So it's worked out well for us for the past couple of years. And a couple of our watch-alongs have gotten crazy views, 50, 60, 70,000 views on a couple of these things. So they've been doing really well. They're a lot of fun. And hopefully we will have some fun tonight. So while I have been flapping my gums, that's usually y'all's job to go over to your Peacocks, pull them up, find the pay-per-view, and get all of your zeros across the board there and get ready to hit play together. If you have any ads to watch or anything like that, knock that out now. It's going to ask you to skip the intro. Do not do that. And we just follow along. That's how it goes. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready, because this will be a nice even 3-hour stream if we hit play within the next couple of minutes here. So I'm ready to do it if you are. I already had my beer open this week. I already had my gummy in my gullet. I'm feeling good. Very happy to be off. It was a busy week, very busy day for me yesterday. I was exhausted after the podcast and after work, and I was just really ready to kick back and hang out today, have a cold one, watch some wrestling. It's a beautiful day outside. There's a little bit of NBA basketball and NHL playoffs going on right now. I think the Kings are playing right now up the road at Crypto. So you guys might have your eyeballs on some other stuff, but let me know what the scores are. Usually if there's a big football game or something, we'll have it on the TV, but I don't think any of these NBA games are really that crucial to be trying to eyeball while we're doing this watch along. So I'm just going to be focused on the Spring Stampede. One more super chat before we hit play from Brandon McNeil. Thank you so much, dude, for that $10. Tons of love to everyone watching. Thanks for doing these watch-alongs, Greg. Thanks for everything. We appreciate you. Absolutely, man. These are so fun to do. I'm glad I kind of had the idea to do them because, you know, we just started a couple years ago doing them here or there, but then once I kind of got the hang out of it, I'm like, these are really fun. And they're really easy to do, and it gives us a chance to hang out and engage and all that, and it makes content for the channel. So it's a win-win for everybody, and I love doing these. We will try to do these every Sunday as long as I'm not out of town and as long as there's not another pay-per-view on the calendar. That's the plan here on YouTube every Sunday right here on Good Mic Work Commentaries. I think that will be it. We need to be rocking and rolling here on the play button. So hopefully you guys have got your fingers queued up. I do as well, and we'll do a countdown from 3 and hit 3 together, or hit play together. Excuse me. Let me get my timer queued up and my play button queued up. Okay, I'm ready. If you guys are ready to rock, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, we good. There is no power struggle. I'm going to adjust the mic on the next one. I didn't have time to do it today. I was running late, but I tried to get the speakers a little closer here, but I can change some mic settings to pick up a little bit of audio. I don't want a ton of audio from the show on here, but a little bit is okay just to help for following along purposes, but it's going to be really faint. You can probably not hear it at all, even if I turn it up like this. I mean, you can probably barely hear that, right? I still have a lot of mic settings to figure out. It's kind of ironic that my name is Good Mic Work, and I absolutely struggle to understand audio. I don't really like it. I love video editing. I do not like audio editing. And I still don't have everything dialed in the way I want on this new mic, so still working on that. Should be Good Video Work. That's what I should have named myself. Good Video Work, so-so mic work. So we have Hogan, if I'm not mistaken. Hogan is on the undercard here, I think. This is going to be heading into, oh, look at that pay-per-view set with the barn. That looks good. We're going to be heading into the Rodman and Malone matches here pretty soon, aren't we? Nice pyro. Where are they? Denver Coliseum. All right. New York City had a 3.6. Holy shit. 3.6 will just rattle some glasses in your shelves, but still, for New York, that's a little unnerving. Mike Tenay, Bobby, and Tony on the call. Ooh, breaking development. Oh, okay. Cast is off Macho Man's arm. I don't know how he got that cast. Don't remember. So Sting was world champion here. How did his title run go? He won it at Starrcade, but didn't they strip him or something? He hasn't held the belt ever since Starrcade, has he? Or maybe they vacated it and then he won it at Super Brawl and he's kept it ever since. How did it go? We Are Pro Wrestling. Between Starrcade and Spring Stampede, has Sting had the belt the whole time, or was there something else in between? I think there was something else in between. Oh, Fox Star, Peacock buffering. See, that's what the timer's for. It's all good. You got that little, most of them have that little 10-second front and back. Just try to hit that and get your timer all good and good. Even if you have to rewind us a little bit, it's okay. Oh, yes, it is going to be Saturn. So this is probably after Goldberg won the U.S. title, right, from Raven? Guess we'll find out if he comes out with a belt around his waist. They stripped him on Thunder after Starrcade. Thank you. So then he won it back. Won at Starrcade, vacated on Thunder. Okay, I was right. Wow, look at that. We Are Pro Wrestling. I said, I'm like, did they vacate it and then he won it back at Super Brawl? That's probably a fact. I beat Hogan at Super Bowl for the vacant belt. Okay, gotcha. Savage won it for him at Super Brawl? What the F? Yeah, Saturn's it feels like that might be is that dubbed music? Okay, so this feels like WWE's Goldberg music, isn't it? Oh, okay. Night after the show is where he wins the US title. I remember that match. I watched it at a bowling alley in North Carolina. Back when I was a bowler, we used to meet there every Monday. And I'd pop a tape in the VCR to tape Raw, and we would get a pair of lanes because there was TVs just all up and down. We get a pair of lanes, and we could do whatever we wanted in that place because we were good bowlers. And we would get a pair of lanes right under TVs, and we put Raw and Nitro on the two TVs, and we'd just watch them both. But when Nitro and Goldberg started really getting over, this is the South. People are wrestling fans in the South. So there would started to be crowds of people around these TVs during Raw and Nitro when we're trying to do our league night. And I remember watching the Goldberg Raven match, and everybody was marking out in the bowling alley. Look at Saturn with his hair. He looks like Karrion Kross. Karrion cross-eyed. Can I say it? No, that's not right. That's not right, Greg. Look at Billy Kidman out there too. Didn't show Billy no love. Oh, this is the real McCoy. This is the real music. I can never tell I don't know the differences between him and WWE anymore. I can't remember which one's which. They're kind of the same, but different. Oh no, poor Billy. Goldberg's got him up. And he throws him down. Fuck your 4-city tour, Goldberg. That's a good one. A members only, we could do the Nitro where Goldberg beat Hogan for the title. Why do I think we've done that one before? Oh, that reminds me. I know what I was going to ask about a members only because we need to do one of those soon. Elizabeth's going to sit in with me on a reaction, but I'm not sure if she's going to be here for the next one or not. So, in case she's not, I want to figure that one out. And I was thinking that maybe I could probably do it next Sunday. Are there any decent WWE draft shows that are worth watching? Like, what about that one with where Eddie Guerrero fought Triple H or something? You know, like an episode of Raw like that with a draft, make like maybe the first draft ever. Would that be a good one for a members only watch along, like next week or something? Because the draft, I believe, starts this Friday. So it'd be good to do that one next week in between the Friday and Monday draft shows. Oh, oof. A couple of years ago, I was in Hawaii for back in 2019 for the WWE draft. And I recorded a draft review very nonchalantly on the balcony with my phone and posted it to YouTube. But I ended up deleting the video because it's kind of painful memory. That was the same day my dad died. I just didn't know it. We didn't know till like 3 days later, but he passed away that day, and I just didn't want that video up anymore. But I remember that draft being kind of pointless. So hopefully this one won't be that pointless. Right, Goldberg's getting suplexed here. This is a somewhat of a competitive-ish match. Oh, the SmackDown where Austin jumps Booker T at the supermarket. Well, I kind of, as a general rule, like to keep things in line with whatever time of year we're in because that makes it easier to select things, you know? I think that was like a December SmackDown, but we've done a few random ones. We watched a WrestleMania like in October or something last year, didn't we? So we've done some random things. We could definitely do that. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what they were going for, but it was no bueno. Looked like he was going for a cutter, and it just did not work out. Jose, if you remember, can I do a Raw before you were born? Probably. When Elizabeth sits in with me on a watch along, we're gonna do probably like one of the first Raws, you know, from that time period, 1993 ish, because that's when she was most familiar with the product as a kid. So plus those are shorter shows, and I wouldn't have to make her to commit to be in here for 2 hours. We could just watch a quick little hour one together with you guys. So stay tuned. One of those is probably coming within the next month. Man, how many feel like this match has gone a few minutes. Was Hogan in WWE in 93 for a minute. He was there from January till about June. Worked a few Raws in the early days. Stole that belt from Yokozuna at WrestleMania and then gave it back to him at King of the Ring. And then he was chasing thunders and paradises after that. Smitty, when is Goldberg coming back to wrestle? Hopefully when I grow antlers. There's that. There's that kick, a devastating kick. Screw that, Mike. 86 Starcade. That's an old Starcade. Try to put my perspective in my place in the. Oh, he's gonna get a spear. I try to put myself in the shoes of the audience sometimes too. Like, I don't know if I'd want to watch a show that was 20 years before I was born, you know? Sometimes that might be interesting, but if there was a YouTuber watching, 3 hours of 1950s wrestling, I could only take so much of that. Low blow. Yeah, he actually blocked the jackhammer. That's actually true. Wow. Okay, I think I see Sick Boy and Reese. I think Goldberg had a match or two with Reese too, didn't he? Oh, spear to Kidman. Oh, Jesus. He's ramming his head into the mat. Jesus. Oh, man, Lodi. He was from one of my old hometowns. Van Hammer, they're all out there, aren't they? Jesus. What is he going to do? Hit him with a AA? Nope. Or an F5? Oh, that didn't look that bad. I mean, that was just raw power. I mean, he had him in like a fireman's carry and tried to lift him up for the jackhammer. That's ridiculous. So that big U.S. title match would be the next night on the Nitro. Very cool. Oh yeah, that rave, that was the Yeti. The Yeti was out there. Goldberg beats 8 guys in a match that went way longer than I thought it would. I'm fucking hot. I'm gonna open my window. 1 second. It's a gorgeous day today. It's currently 70 degrees, but I shut my window to reduce noise, but now it's hot, so I opened it up. So you might hear a loud motorcycle drive by or something. Hmm. Good to see you, William Cullen. Good to see you. That's all right. You're not even that late, man. And what are we, 15 minutes in? All good. All good. I like this barn set they have. Not a very huge crowd there. I don't know what's the attendance for this show. Yeah, Eddie and Chavo. What music is this? What am I listening to? Yeah, attendance for this is only 7,400. Pretty low attendance. Yeah, some of the attendance, I mean, they were running some smaller buildings. Dynamite, a couple nights ago when it was in Milwaukee, that was the old Mecca. That's where King of the Ring 96 was. Over the Edge, the first one in 98 was there, and that building only holds like 8,000. So even back then when business was hot, they were still running. They weren't running 20K seat arenas every night. Even pay-per-views were in smaller ones. Oh, what is this going to be? I don't even know what this match is. It's either Chavo or Eddie against Ultimo. Okay, so it'll be Chavo and Ultimo. Eddie's out there for backup, it looks like. Slot. Did you see that dragon's head caught fire at Disney World? That's great. I saw an indie wrestler, some dumbass indie wrestler, lit his head on fire yesterday too. So if you're a dragon or an indie wrestler, be careful. Your head might catch on fire. Look at a young little Nate. Oh, I was talking about this at work with somebody the other night. Does anybody remember, like in the early days of YouTube or maybe the first few years, do you remember a video from Lil Showstopper? It was like a super famous video, and it's like this girl lives in the Virgin Islands, and she's probably 12 or 13, and she's talking super like, I don't even know how to describe it. You know, she's talking about some girl whose ass she's going to kick, and it's just great. It's just pure entertainment. And she's got these black, dark eyeballs. She's probably a grown ass woman now, but it's just so funny. Little Showstopper. I always remember that video being like one of the first like viral videos I remember ever seeing on YouTube, like on the platform at all. And I was talking to like somebody near my age at work the other night, and he knew what I was talking about. He goes, I do remember that. Like sometimes I think I'm the only one that remembers Little Showstopper. It was all capitals, Little Showstopper. So great. If anybody remembers Little Showstopper or know what happened to her, shout her out. Say hi to her. She dropped the N word a few times in the video too, by the way. And she was a fucking ginger. Eddie's super entertaining. He's under the towel. Mike Tenay saying all the other Guerrero members have disowned him. I don't remember Chavo. If this is, I don't remember when Chavo had Pepe. That feels like something that would have come after this, like later in '98. But We Are Pro Wrestling or anybody else? Anybody got a date on Pepe in WCW? Ooh, Pepe would die and be reincarnated as Moppy, and then Moppy would die and be reincarnated as kendo sticks, a bunch of them, thousands, in fact, located neatly under every wrestling ring across America. Long live Moppy. Summer '98. Okay. Oh yes, Sid powerbombing Pillman is. I did a review on that show. I think did I not Wrestle War, or maybe I did Wrestle War '92. I've done one of the Wrestle Wars. I actually do think it was '92. I think that was the Dangerous Alliance one. Did a review on that. Yeah, 97, early 98, 97 would have felt too early for Pepe. That definitely seems like something they would have done later. After watching WWE saying, oh, they're doing a bunch of funny shit. They just did a choppy PP. How about we have a Pepe? They probably just stole everything. That's Kai and Tai should have came to WCW and did choppy or Pepe. That would have been great. Hmm. Yeah, Wrestle War '92. That's what I thought. Because I remember that one with Medusa climbing to the top and all that. That was so good. That's one of my. That might be my favorite War Games match ever. Super good. Jose Chris Jericho became the first ever undisputed champion right here in the city that I live in, San Diego, which of course in German means a whale's vagina. Mike, I only went to one WCW show back in the day, and it was a house show. And it was, I always forget the year. I think it was 89. I think it was 89. And it was super fun. Oh my God, it was so good because back then, man, they didn't play games. Everybody turned out. Flair was there, Luger, Arn, all the hits. The matches were exciting, press slams. I just remember as a kid being like, this is fucking great. Because I hadn't ever been that close to the ring before for any match. And we were just, a row or two up on, past the floor, the floor seats and then the bleachers. We were probably like 2 or 3 rows up in the bleachers, right there, eye level to the ring. And it was awesome. That was the first time I'd ever physically touched a wrestler. I shook Arn Anderson's hand, touched Luger on his arm, touched Flair, touched Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor worked that show. So this would have been maybe late 89, must have been late 89 or early 90, because Flair was back and forth to WWE so many times. But I think the Rooster had run its course by late 89. I suppose it could have been 1990, but I always thought it was 89. So I'm not sure the exact date on it. But I have really faded pictures of the show. But unfortunately, I never went to any big pay-per-views, and they were in the Carolinas all the time. They would run fall brawls there in Winston-Salem and Greensboro shows, and I always chose to go to WWE over them. Blood is thicker than salsa. Oh, Bobby Heenan. See that Bobby can make that joke. Jerry Lawler cannot. It's not a Reba. It's Reba. Chavo crotched on the top. Met Chavo in a Waffle House once, I'd say in like 04? Maybe 03. I think it was more 04 though. It was right before he started doing the Tough Enough gig. Because I remember reading that in the news and wishing him luck. I was like, good luck on the Tough Enough thing. He's like, thank you, man. So whatever that year was, he was super nice. I was with my ex at the time, and I remember leaving. She goes, you're such a dork. I said, shut up. I am not. I'm awesome. Chavo liked me. We're friends now. Ugh. I do love Eddie's white pants. He looks boss in those. If you don't win, it's double as hard. Jesus, Eddie. So aggressive. So aggressive, that Eddie. Yes, this pay-per-view was definitely VHS. I don't think I have this. I should have looked for it. I have 2 Spring Stampedes, but I don't know which years they are. I don't think it's this one, though. Two nicest wrestlers you ever met were Mick Foley and Nash. Yeah, I met Foley twice. Just met him a couple weeks ago, and he was super nice. Nash, I wanted to meet, but he did not look like he was having a good time, so I did not meet Nash. No WCW games. Never really played video games. Got some WWE, Nintendo ones and stuff on the shelf, but no WCW ones at all. This is my wrestling game. So I have this one. I've got like a WrestleMania one from Nintendo. I have Pro Wrestling. This might be the greatest pro wrestling video game ever made. Black Box Pro Wrestling. Starman. Come on, man. Can't beat that. Other than that, I've got WWE Raw and Royal Rumble on Sega Genesis and on Super Nintendo, and that's it for my wrestling games. This one too. I have this one too. WrestleMania Challenge, which also sucks. All right, let's get back to Eddie, who's throwing a temper tantrum on the outside of the ring. Have I begged you guys for a like yet? Hit the thumbs up. Please, please. Like this video. For fuck's sake. Oh, slapping. God, Eddie. Jesus, man. Chavo doesn't look right with all that hair. A couple of slaps to the face. Blood is thicker than salsa. Salsa's delicious. I'm so glad I live so close to Mexico because I love Mexican food. And everything around here is just so authentic. It's awesome. I could be better at speaking Spanish. I really could. But other than that, I wish I was better at it since I live here. But I love the food, man. I had tacos today for lunch. And chips and salsa. Nope, tornado missed. Oh, that's a dragon sleeper. I'm like, Sister Abigail. Oh, I thought he was tapping already. You're not going to get out of this. He's tapping. And there's that annoying point to the hard cam to ring the bell shit that I hate in WCW. That seems such a silly... It seems like something WWE would do. Vince is like, no, you got to point to the audience. It just seems like a Vince call, and they're doing it in WCW. The timekeeper's on the side of the damn ring. That's where you point. What do I have to do? Eddie, you could stop being an asshole. I mean, I love you, but it's kind of unnecessary to be this level of dick. You're wearing cowboy boots, so that's 2 more points off. Bringing your score to -10, Eddie. These go to 11. Why don't you just increase the level of 10 and make that the highest one? But these go to 11. That was good. He countered that tornado into the dragon sleeper. That was it. Chavo, nowhere to go. Right in the middle. Your winner, the Ultimo Dragon. I loved Bobby's replay recaps. Ramon, Pro Wrestling was the best game to play on Nintendo. Controls were easy. Wrestling was hard to figure out. Like, a lot of the games tried different shit, but Pro Wrestling was pretty simple and effective. It was great. Stagger Lee Marshall with DDP and some J-Brone in a headset. Look at that laptop. Look at that laptop. Put that thing in a museum. It looks like a PlayStation. Like the first one. Let me see. This was 98. I did not have a computer yet. I think I was still a year away from actually having a home computer in my apartment. I don't know what the hell I did in there. I lived alone a lot of that time, not all of it, but a good portion of it. I mean, what the hell was I doing every night? Just watching TV, I guess. I love this Benoit theme. Ramon, I was never a big Mike Tyson's Punch Out guy. Never owned the game, played it a little bit, could never beat it, and never even owned the game because they're kind of expensive to find. If I come across one in the wild, I'll grab it, but I ain't paying $200 for one. And I do think I have it on the NES Mini, that thing. I've got that little mini console as well. But I was never a big fan of the game for some reason. Who's Benoit facing? I don't even know. Nice Mickey J is a referee for this. Passed away a couple years ago. Oh, Booker. Is this part of their best of 7 deal that they're doing? He's a TV champion, right? It's right there, right there. That's the very same belt Booker T's wearing. He gave it to me. He said, "Here, Gray, I want you to have this." I said, "Thanks, Booker." And I hung it on the wall. No best of 7 yet. Okay. Victor, see, I'm the reverse. I have the NES Mini, but not the Super NES. Although I think we have a Super NES in the house. One of Elizabeth's kids have it. So I know we have one in here somewhere. But I was kind of out of the only Super NES game I really played was Super Mario World, and that was it. And I didn't really play a lot of their other titles because by then I was, when you're a kid and a teenager, once you start driving, at least for during my era, all your other your kid priorities changed. You know, I had bikes, skateboards, video games, all that stuff. I stopped caring about all of that once I got the ability to get behind the wheel and go out and have fun and explore the world. You know, it's different now. Kids aren't as hard up to drive as they used to be. I was at the DMV the day I turned 16. Now kids are like in their 20s and they don't drive. Okay. Look at the I mean, these guys are prime. You kind of forget how big, like, just Booker is just huge. What I liked about Booker too, and just Harlem Heat in general, is like they look like they can kill you, you know, and that they're scary. You know, they were scary to me. You know, Booker, you know, he spent time in jail, you know, and the life that he had, you know, to get to before he found success and stuff. I mean, this is a fucking hard nosed dude that I wouldn't want to get in a fight with. He won the fight with Batista, right? The Batista that happened, the fight that happened backstage between those guys. I would think that Prime Booker T could probably beat the shit out of anyone, at least at that time. You think of the tough guys in wrestling around that time. I mean, Ming was in the company. But I mean, even Randy Savage, you know, he got punked out once by Hawk, I believe. So some of even the tougher guys will meet their match eventually. But man, Booker, if I'm in the locker room and I'm a wrestler, he's like going to be, if I'm going to like write down and formulate a list, people don't to not piss off. Booker's going to be like 1 or 2. Don't piss off Mr. T, Mr. Booker T. Yeah, the Benoit murders too, you know, it compounded things so much more for a lot of fans who loved Benoit's work like I did. You know, he was one of the most admirable guys I thought in terms of like what he could do in the ring. And so just made all that even harder that he was capable of that. Booker's got those just long legs. He throws those scissor kicks, man. I like Booker as a singles. You know, before he became world heavyweight champion and stuff like these days of him being TV champion. What do those things do on your nose? Do they open up your nasal passage or something that allows you to bring more air in? Like they're a breathing apparatus, right? I've never really understood what how they work. That's what you do, Michael Kumo. Hell yeah. Appreciate the $5. When I got my own car, I drove to a bunch of arcades back when they were still around. Even went on a 40-minute drive at times. Yeah, there was a bunch of times like when I was younger, I would get in my car and drive around, just because you didn't have anything else to do. And I'd find something to do. I'd go somewhere, or just I'd go to a friend's house or something. But sometimes you just drive around. It's a good time, good way to clear your head. And I do miss arcades. I miss the sound. I miss that arcade sound of all the machines at the same time, and the hints of the Pac-Man noise and change coming out of the tokens coming out of the machine, and the darkness of it. Back when I was a kid, it would have been smoke filled because you could smoke anywhere you wanted. I loved them because they were always dark. When I first moved here, I went up to LA for a weekend. So this would have been like 2011 or something. And we found there was an old school arcade in town. I wonder if it's still there. And we went in there. It was awesome. They had every game you could imagine. And they tried to keep the vibe the same with the darkness and all of that. It was cool. Nice backbreaker on Benoit. So looking at that pay-per-view set, it looks like they built the barn, but the backdrop there just looks like a tarp with a projection of mountains in the background. That's kind of a good way to do it. Now we actually have the whole entire LED screen that size, but back then that's kind of what it's probably a pretty cool production technique. Yeah, but Dave and Buster's isn't the same. Rodrigo is like an old school arcade. Because back in the day, you didn't have those crazy games. I mean, those I don't even know what they're called, but those just crazy games with puzzles and there's touch screens and all that. None of that shit was around. This is just like Galaga and Pac Man and asteroids and shit like that, like old school shit. Thanks for the $10, Chris Ludek. All I saw is I used to sell drugs, and I was like, "What the hell?" I used to sell drug testing compliance kits to truckers in Connecticut. I called Stevie Ray's Trucking, and it was Stevie Ray himself, and he said Booker was one of the few guys who wasn't afraid of Scott Steiner. That's crazy. Yeah, I could see Booker T not being afraid of Scott Steiner. Yeah, um, he could hold his own against Scott, although Scott could wrestle pretty good. That's interesting. The truckers in Connecticut called Stevie Ray's Trucking, and it was Stevie Ray himself. That's very interesting. In Connecticut? Ooh, that's crazy, man. Cool story. Cool story, bro, for real, though. Oh, okay. This pay per view. Thank you for that stat. We Are Pro Wrestling. I didn't know this. This pay per view was 10 days after the thunder that Flair missed that led him to be gone in September. And the following week, I would be in Greensboro for Unforgiven, and everybody was chanting Flair that day. And a lot of us were thinking he might be there. Come to find out all these years later, he was in the area. He claims Ric Flair can be a little bit like Hogan in his embellishment, but he claims he was circling the building, hoping that he could come in, but he was not there. You chatted for well over an hour on the phone? with Stevie Ray? That is crazy. Yeah, I have family in Denver. I've been up there a few times. Been to Breckenridge. Spent a couple, two or three Christmases in Breckenridge, and they have my family has a cabin there, and they have a house in Denver too. And I've been there a handful of times. And yeah, the air is. If you're doing anything physical, you will notice the atmosphere difference. And Benoit's going for the headbutt. He's got that look on his face. Trying to read some of these signs. Nitro rocks the Rockies. Oh my! Oh, bullseye is right. He landed. I'm usually Benoit's like kind of really off the shoulder. I almost think he overshot that. He's going for the dynamite snap suplex. Kind of hard to do that on Booker. Oh yeah, the Crusher. I have a lot of family that lived around the Milwaukee and Minneapolis area too, and they all knew of him. When I was a little kid, my grandma, her neighbors watched wrestling in the 50s and 60s and 70s and would always want to talk to me about it. But I was like 11 and I had figurines. Like, who's this guy? I'm like, this is Tito Santana. I'd have to explain to them who everybody is. Oh, oh. Okay, so they've already had a couple of time limit draws, and Tony is mentioning the time limit. I don't know what the finish of this is. So do they go time limit draw again? And that makes them do the best of seven? Guess I'm about to find out, aren't we? Ah, yeah, Ramon. Still have all my old LJNs. The old apartment before I lived in this house, I did do a video of my collection of memorabilia, and the figures are in there. Just look up collection, search collection under my videos. I'm sure it'll pop up. Better frog splash, Eddie or RVD? RVD. Oh, God damn. Belly to back from the second rope, folding Booker T up. I mean, that ring mat is so hard, too. Jesus. 1 second. Got the shoulder up. Near fall. Near fall. Oh, what a spine buster. God, I felt that. Jesus, man. Rough. Buckeye. Oh, yeah, Zach, trust me. I wish I could go back in time and not open all of my LJN figures. That would be really nice. I had that Hogan one with the belt and all that stuff. I can still, one thing about those LJN figures that I can still remember as a kid, I remember the smell. They had a specific smell, like when you open the package. And I sometimes will catch a whiff of something similar, and I'll always think back to the LJNs. Oh, scissor kick to Mickey J. Down he goes. I love this. I think he is. No ref. Okay, so that's what's going to lead to this. No ref. We'll never know. Ah, Harlem sidekick for the win. What a match. And Booker T wins. Unreal. Booker would win the best of 7 too, wouldn't he? Wouldn't he win the best of 7? Oh man, on average, an unopened LJN will be like 2 to 3K. I really wish I could go back in time and tell myself to not open this Macho Man Randy Savage because I could sell it, pay some rent with it or something. But yeah, I wish I could like grab that and take it out. I still have the figure, still have it, but it's out of the package. So that was my 10th birthday. I got a Macho Man Randy Savage. This is a fabulous outfit I'm wearing. A spectacular haircut. My now deceased grandfather in the background watching me. Yeah, what a dork. Yeah, maybe one day I'll get my hands on some unopened versions of that. That would be cool. I do love Booker's music. Mm-hmm. I didn't see it either that Booker T actually pulled him. Juliet, thank you. Is tonight Stone Cold night on A&E? I didn't even know that. 2 rivals up, Stone Cold Brett, Stone Cold HBK. Are these new or repeats? I watched the Iron Sheik episode last week. Do we have more episodes on those A&Es? How much more? How many more are left? Did I see Reese sitting back in the crowd after that beginning match? Was that Reese sitting there? Are all the flock members back sitting down again? Oh, here's the match I was the most interested in. So this is kind of crazy too. Davy Boy is another one of those rare wrestlers that was able to take his theme. Help I don't know what this song is called, this melody, but it doesn't even sound like it's WCW's version of it. Like WWE had Macho Man's Pomp and Circumstance, and then when WCW got Macho, they made their own version of that. This seems like it's the same exact song he was using in WWE. I mean, there is not many people other than CM Punk and Cody Rhodes that have been able to do that. NWO. And this is kind of crazy. It's going to be Davey and Neidhart and Rick Rude, who just months earlier were actually on opposite sides of factions. And Rude joined WCW because of what happened to Brett. And that it's just crazy. Oh, it's going to be Neidhart and Rude? That's so crazy. Rick Rude and Neidhart were 1 week apart from their WWE departures. Rude left 1 week and Neidhart left the next. And I was there for the Neidhart show. So crazy. Who's this guy coming? Just a cop? Yeah, everybody. Oh, that's right. Tony said one of Detroit's finest. Mike goes Denver. So it's going to be Neidhart and Rick Rude. I mean, what's crazy too is like all four of these guys are like pretty legitimate. Like, Jim Neidhart in WCW. Just crazy. I mean, I think it would have been cool. Brett and Neidhart should have teamed up and had like one match in WCW for fun? Like, why didn't they do that? They did the Blade Runners, didn't they? Sting and Warrior had that match. They should have had Brett and Neidhart just have one match. Maybe Brett wouldn't want to do it. I don't know. But I think it would have been fun. Yoo-hoo. Oh, man, it's like short handcuffs. I would just not want to be chained to someone like this for so long. Little Mark Curtis. So give me your hand. I feel like they're trolling this poor cop. Just give him your hand, dickhead. Jesus. Like, y'all knew this was the stipulation. Yeah, I remember Ted Arcidi had a figure too. K-Dog Skeno, good to see you, man. What's up? Yeah, we just watched Mania 14 a couple of weeks ago, but they had a little more slack on their handcuffs. These are like look at one little link, two chain links separating them. Bulldog and perfect. I remember there was a time when before the Bulldog won the title in 92, in 91, they were starting to set him up for like a program with Perfect before Brett took the title. I remember it was like the summer of 91. And I remember them making it seem like Perfect and Bulldog were going to have a feud. And then it kind of never materialized. And then Brett ended up getting the shot and beating Perfect for the title. And a whole nother year would go by before Bulldog would be given gold. Yeah, the match started finally, but at least we got to watch Rude, Anvil, Davey, and Kurt be funny on the outside of the ring. I mean, this is just a match. I mean, Brian Hildebrand, Mark Curtis, one of my favorite referees ever, tragically passed away of cancer. Bulldog and Perfect passed away a year apart. Rick Rude would be dead a year later from this show. I think Rude was 99. Bulldog was 02. And Hennig, I think, was 03. I think. And Neidhart, of course, just passed away a couple of years ago. Crazy, man. Von Erich, I don't know. Had he not had his issues, I think he was largely. I guess it was just dependent on him. I think if he was still active and still actively looking for a job, sure, they would have brought him in. But didn't sound like near the end there, wrestling was even on his mind very much. 1 year and 1 day. See, I was thinking it might have been more late 99. We're only a year away from that. And that was still pretty early in the deaths, you know? I mean, it would be just what? We would be 1 year and 1 month away from the death of Owen Hart, right? So that means Rude passed away just a few weeks before Owen. And that just really seemed like the floodgates, man. It was Pillman in late 97, and then Rude, and then Owen. And the next thing you know, it's all these guys, and it's your Ray Trailers and your Hennigs and your Bulldogs. So many guys dying. And these guys were so, especially Bulldog, was so physically past his prime. And it's sad because in 97, Bulldog still felt like he had gas in the tank. He was having good matches. His team with Owen was great. But everything he did in WCW felt like him going through the motions. He didn't look as in good a shape. He wasn't as crisp or fluent in the ring at all. Everything he did looked sloppy. He looked lazy. He looked high when he was there. Like, he's going for the sharpshooter. What's going on here? Don't abuse this cop. And Rude's, it's like they're kind of working together to get these things out. Handcuffs never go right because you can never get the key. Oh, now he's going to beat up on Neidhart. Is that for? Oh no! I was like, who's this? This cop that he's just choking relentlessly. I'm like, is he a worker or something? Oh no, that might be it. And it is. That is Virgil. I was about to say. I didn't recognize him the whole. I did not recognize him the whole time he was trying to put that. That was not him. Is that the same cop? I was like, why are they abusing this guy? And then I was about to say it looks like Virgil. And then I didn't want to say that to sound like one of those guys, oh, we all look alike or something. And then I was like, he took that off. I'm like, it is Virgil. You are the ass man. Oh my God, it was Vincent the whole time. How did I not recognize him? One of Detroit's finest. And now it's a double beatdown. Brett has just got too much to do to come save him. Fucking Rude and the Bulldog, so crazy. DX and the Hart Foundation, the feud continues. The incessant bell ringing. We got Virgil, Neidhart, Perfect, and Bulldog. Rick Rude's got a nightstick. Like, this is just, you got a bell ringing in our ears. This is all just madness. Pure madness. Damn. Had Brett been gone heel yet? Didn't he join Hogan, right? After all this? Is Brett like a heel right now? What is Brett doing? They pulled an off-camera switch. Thank you. I was about to say I would have recognized him instantly. I was like, I would have recognized that meat sauce. And the Bulldog got a beat down. Yeah, I was about to say, how in the world was I looking at that cop and I didn't recognize that it was Virgil? All right, I'm going to go get a new cold one. I'll be right back. All right. So it looks like I am out of my 805s. This was the last one. So all I have left to drink is this big 805, which is a cerveza brewed with lime. So this should have like a lime flavor. I usually don't like beers like this, but we're going to drink it today. Okay, we'll see. It's a tall boy. Oh, yeah, Prince Iaukea. Who's he working with? He's not the champion, so that means he's working with the champion. It's either going to be Mysterio, maybe Jericho. I wonder who it is. Oh, yeah, Jericho. I looked at the card before putting the poll up, but I kind of forgot a lot of the matches. I just kind of that Perfect and Davey one stuck out, and the main event stuck out. Oh, it's Break the Walls Down song. This is definitely edited. Ugh, why do they do this? Spoilers. I love his bandana. He's got a heart of a lion, y'all. Yes, I want you to want me. He's the best. Similar to right now, just like they always do. I love his headband. It looks like Johnny Lawrence. He's residing in the Where Are We Now file. I'm sure Dean's doing. Okay, so when Dean's off TV right now, so this is probably getting close to when they do the battle royal and Dean dresses up as Play and takes the mask off and gets one of the best pops in WCW history. What a moment. That's his Hell in the Cell. That's Dean Malenko's Hell in the Cell. Like, I remember him most for that. Because I think it was his most over he's ever been. A lot of people liked I appreciate that. A lot of people really liked my Cena happy birthday post that I posted last night. Woke up this morning, had a shitload of likes and retweets and stuff. So I'm glad everybody liked that. I always had Cena's back. He's a fellow 1977 baby. So we stick together. Any other 77 babies in the chat? Not you, Mike. You're way older than that, but somebody else not old like us. Oh, we might be getting close to the split. Has Wolfpack shit started yet? Probably not. Probably starts in 98. Hogan fears Massaro. Ashley Massaro? I don't know if he fears her that much. He might a little. Thank you. You hope I enjoy my drink / beverage there. It's not bad. It just tastes like a fucking beer. Yeah, Mike, I am of the same year. You're May 6th. I'm September 6th. So I'm just a couple of weeks after he died, or a few weeks after he died. Ooh. I was sitting in the living room. At least that's what my dad always told me. I was in the living room with my mom and dad at 3 years old um, on Monday Night Football when Howard Cosell announced John Lennon, his death. An unspeakable tragedy. Right during like the last, it was like a field goal to win the game or some shit. Whenever I see that clip, I'm like, apparently I was watching this. I probably had poo in my diapers and boogers in my nose, but I was watching. Ryan, live review or reaction of Backlash? Think I'm going to do a live review or a review after the show. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a reaction, but maybe not for that one. I got to figure out what to do about the Night of Champions too once they start filling that card up and we see how that's going to look. How much to drink an Anheuser-Busch beer? I'll drink a couple of those, but they're usually not my go-to. But if I'm not drinking them, it's not because of any of their affiliations or support of any marginalized group. I would never be so insecure in my sexuality that I would shoot an aluminum can with a gun. I would never be that fragile and weak in a million years. Beer companies can support whoever they want. The day I melt down over an aluminum can is the day that my life sucks. So just know that people doing that, they can't be happy. They have to live in a constant loop of anger to even give a shit to that degree. And I take comfort in knowing that their lives are miserable. And mine isn't. The wind, he's working on the windpipe and the wind. He's got to work on his wind. $1.98. It costs more than $1.98. I was a beach kid when I was young and stuff, and I remember being like ages maybe 12 through 15. I would have the bead. Always wore the bead necklace or whatever those things were. I had one that was like it's almost like light like powder blue and with some brown kind of like wood colored things in between. It looked really good on me with a tan. Oh, well, at least I don't know if being barefoot is good or bad in that situation. Probably slightly better. Shout out to Billy Silverman, referee for this one. Hmm. No, 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 no. I hope it's over. Nope, he's going to reach ropes. Damn it. I was hoping that would just be it. Mike, where was I when the Challenger exploded? Watching it at school with all of my classmates. Third grade, we were all on the floor. And no, wait, we watched it with a couple of other classes. That's what it was. Watched it with a couple of other classes. Then it happened. And we were called back to our classrooms. And the teacher, we kind of knew because the teachers were kind of freaking out. But I felt like what they wanted to do is have all the teachers take their students back to the classes and explain to them what happened. Like the fifth graders probably knew, but maybe we didn't. And the kindergartners certainly didn't understand. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are they going to Spanish fly? Oh, that was all kinds of botch. They were both, Iaukea and Jericho were on the top rope. I don't know what they were going to try to execute, but they both spilled to the outside. Jericho launched himself. And I always laugh when I say this term because it sounds so weird, but in the third grade, my teacher used to have these things called rug meetings. And we had this little area of the classroom with just a big rug, and all the kids, if we had to talk about something, she'd sit us all down there and we talk about shit. So we got back from the launch, and she's like, we have to have a rug meeting right now. And she sat us all down and told us that what we saw, in case you don't know, what you watched on TV, the shuttle exploded and all the astronauts died. She just laid it right out for us. And that's what I remember of it. So I have not fond, but vivid, I should say, memories of the Challenger explosion. It was a big deal at the time. Reagan, I think, spoke that night and had a press conference of some kind. And there was a school teacher on the shuttle, which is the reason we were watching it. Oh, come on, come on. No way. Now, Iaukea did win the or the, what the fuck is this? Cruiserweight, right? He did win it. Or maybe he won the TV title. I know he held a belt in WCW. Nice Northern Lights. Look at his tippy toe. Look at that. Oh, so good. The only thing. Wonder how much it cost to in those days to put the logo on the mat like that. I'll never forget my rug meeting where the teacher was like, all the astronauts are dead. Crazy. She was pretty blunt. Oh, nice. Not man, that top rope sunset was so smooth, but he missed it. And now we are going to get a lion tamer in the middle of the ring, knee on the back of the head. Ball game. You can't convince me he's getting out of this. That's it. Hmm. That fucking music, I really wish it was not that. Right. I can't remember if it was Iaukea or who it was. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, maybe Dean comes back here. Oh, he's wearing Prince Iaukea thing. Oh my God. I want to say Dean Malenko trained Prince Iaukea. He trained one of those guys. I mean, a bunch of those guys, but one of them. Oh, now he's gonna wear his. What an asshole! I actually never knew that Shakespeare said "Revenge is a dish best served cold." I never knew that was him. I've heard that saying before. I didn't know it was Shakespeare. Raven's smart. Raven teaches me things. Raven makes my dumb brain less dumb, and that's what's great about Raven. Oh my God, in school, there's nothing I hated worse than reading that shit. I had no interest in any Shakespeare works at all. I didn't find them interesting or fun to read. I didn't like the language. Um, it was such a hardcore turnoff for me as a kid in school. I'm like, I wanted nothing to do with any Shakespeare shit or anything like that. And the teacher's like, you got to read Hamlet. And I'm like, fuck. I have to do to not read it. Like, can we negotiate something here? I've still never used algebra ever. The headaches that fucking class gave me. I ain't need no algebra for streaming about wrestling. Oh, poor Buff. He's so hurt. David Penzer. Love Penzer. Oh, it's hurt so bad. Hurts. Ow. Buff Bagwell wearing the sunglasses of every single Southern male in their 20s during this time. Find me a man in the South in his 20s that doesn't have those glasses on his head. Matter of fact, even I had a pair, I think. Mean Gene is coming with JJ. This match is canceled. He has no doctor's release. Looks like a makeshift cast he has on his hand. Damn, Mike, you were in middle school. Yeah. I was in elementary. I was third grade. I was about a year and a half away from moving from Michigan to North Carolina, and I watched it in, so I would have been in, I guess, Sterling Heights, Michigan. Okay, JJ, lay it out. I'm so hurt. Oh, Gene. Is he going to make him like replace, like Steiner replace Bagwell or something? Oh. Oh, this guy is? You can't afford James Andrews, I guess, huh? JJ. Who is this guy? Michael Soprano? What's his name? Sapello? He's wearing a pager. A pager. I'm proud to say I never had a pager. Never needed one. Like if somebody paged me, I wouldn't call them back because I don't like calling people back. I would have been like, "The fuck do you want?" It looks like it's just like you realize what you've done. This is so stupid. He's cleared. Who the hell is he trying to get out of a match with, by the way? The Giant or something? Or Luger. Okay. I know this music. $1 Million Man. Hey, how's your son? Jesus is Lord. Rick Steiner looking like he's getting like a fucking pest control tent. It's a miracle. Gosh, I cannot believe how quickly Bagwell was able to recover and focus. You're about to be fumigated. Everybody in this match has a side to them that's unlikable. Luger seems to be in a really good place today. Saw him at WrestleCon. He was sitting there minding his own business. He seems grateful to still be alive and living and seems to have gotten past all of his past issues, but he still had them, and I'm not sure if I'll ever forgive him for the role that he played in Miss Elizabeth's death, even though Elizabeth is a grown adult and makes her own choices. I don't think that relationship helped her very much. Scott Steiner has gone nuts a couple of times. Buff Bagwell has been in trouble before. He beat up some poor production guy in WCW, just punched him right in the face for no reason or something. Had a big lawsuit. He's had issues with drugs and alcohol and DUIs and weird fake Twitter accounts and all sorts of stuff. Rick Steiner, most recently, at WrestleCon, had some homophobic and shithead things to say and transphobic things to say about another fellow wrestler and got in all sorts of trouble there. Nick Patrick is like the dirtiest, nastiest referee of all time, and he's got a really, really, really dumb face. And then Ted DiBiase has been stealing money from needy people. So this is a match of shitheads. Except for Luger. I'm kind of happy that Luger's found his way. He posts a picture on Twitter every day of some gorgeous scenery and says, "Thank you, Lord, another day." You know, like seems grateful to be here. So at least we have that. Bagwell seems to be doing well too. But they've all had problems. Giselle Shaw, thank you. I couldn't remember her name. Yeah, when they were doing the whole cast thing, I was thinking he was just trying to get out of a match with Luger. I didn't realize it was a tag. Big Papa Pump. I do remember I would order a few or a couple of WCW pay-per-views every year. And whatever the one when Scott Steiner turned, I ordered that one. He joined the NWO. I feel like that was late 97. Luger should be in the Hall of Fame. I'd be cool if they put Luger in the Hall of Fame. In terms of credentials, he has them. they've made biographies and stuff on him now and ran whole rundowns of his career and shit on TV. So he's Hall of Fame worthy at this point. Now it's just a matter of when they want to put him in. But he's not the greatest of health, so they might want to get on that. I don't recall of any sort of past history or relationship at all with Lex Luger and Triple H. They just missed each other in '95. I think Triple H was coming in as Luger was leaving. And then that was it. Unless, well, no, Luger would have been gone from WCW as well by the time Flair or Triple H got there as Terror Rising. If anything, they just missed each other in '92 in WCW, and then they just missed each other in '95 in WWE. And aside from that, I don't know of any relationship or history between them at all. Nice save by Steiner. Here we go. The brothers. Jesus, Scott running. I kind of like that Luger. I think it's fun. I didn't realize this until just now. I think it's really fun that DiBiase is in the corner of Lex Luger. You sold out, Luger. You sold out. They should have brought Tatanka in. He's a la carte. I don't know, Juliet. I think Vince is over his dislike for Luger. People have done far worse to him than what Luger did. I mean, Medusa was worse in my mind. Because not only did she leave without telling them like Luger did, she dumped her fucking belt in the trash. And she's in the Hall of Fame. I think Vince should be able to let the Luger stuff go. Oh, hotline. 1-900-909-9900. I'll always remember that. $1.69 a minute. Kids, get your parents' permission before calling. Oh. I should have listened to what he said. What's he teasing? He said a former member of the New World Order? One that's been injured or somebody jumping? I mean, that would have been after Waltman had already gone back to WWE a couple weeks before that. Unless you're talking about Scott Hall, unless Scott Hall's on the shelf or something. I don't know. We Are Pro Wrestling. What was Gene Mean referencing there? Hey, yo, Gene Mean. Is the Parka yellow or is it just the lights? No, he's really yellow. It's like a bumblebee. Yeah, Alan, I agree. I thought them moving DiBiase as a babyface was weird. It didn't fit him. And he kind of got a raw deal because he was probably, I mean, he was brought into the NWO to kind of be their mouthpiece or manager. But then when Bischoff turned heel and joined, he kind of took that role over. And there was no reason for Ted DiBiase to be in the NWO anymore. So then he went babyface, started managing the Steiners, which was weird. We had some battles with in WWE for the tag titles. But I think DiBiase should have tried to start a faction or something. $1 million corporation, but in WCW. They had mild success in WWE. It was the top heel faction they had there for a couple of years. Yeah, I like the Psychosis theme too. I liked a lot of WCW's themes from this time. Psychosis was good. Uh, Hoovies was good. I liked Rey Mysterio's and Dean Malenko's, but they were a little too similar. Oh, group text's my favorite. My mom is funny. So my mom and dad, those assholes, are in Hawaii right now. My mom and my stepdad, and they're just texted me a picture of this dude. They're like, check out this guy laying on the beach with his cat. There's a grassy area right beyond the sand, and look at this guy. He's just chilling with his Tito. So my mom just takes a picture of this man. She's such a perv, but she wanted to show me this guy sleeping with his kitty. That's very nice. Tito would not sleep with me on the beach. He would be skittish as hell. So we got Psychosis and La Parka, by the way. No title on the line here. This is just a nice little, super exciting filler match. Two exciting wrestlers and a spazzy ass referee. It's perfect. Perfect recipe. Yeah, Brian, I think you're right about a lot of that being stock music. A lot of it is. Just think of the ones I know offhand: the Hardy Boys, Lex Luger, Bob Holly. I would hear those themes all the time on like ESPN and sports highlight shows and shit like that. And some of those other ones might be too. I'm glad we've moved away from the time where WWE would just give the Orient Express's music to anybody who was Asian. I'm like now, and I think they would do more like the Kurt Angle music to anybody who's a patriotic American. At least they've gotten better with that stuff. Bands are starting to get smart with the signs. They're starting to bring dry erase boards. Parka, he had some weight on him, so this moves he's about to do here always amazed me because he was quite large. After Laparca executes that springboard, Bobby Heenan goes, "That's another thing I never thought about trying." I miss him. I don't want to talk about an AC dislocation, Tony. That makes me hurt thinking about it. Oh, Victor, next match is Hogan and Nash against Piper and the Giant. That's an interesting tag. That's an interesting mid card tag match for Terry Bollea. How many times has Hogan really wrestled on the undercard of a show? He had a few matches like that when he got to WWE and after in 2002. Only a couple matches he had were main events. But in these days of his WCW run, whether he was a heel or a babyface when he first got there, how many of these matches did he wrestle on pay per view that were not the main event? A lot of the Rodman stuff probably wasn't main event, right? So I'm sure he had a few, but this one feels like a just full blown undercard match. Oh wow! Oh wow! Ugh, it's a lot of work to get that Frankensteiner done. I'm glad that Lawler's not in commentary to call Psychosis a horny little he-devil. Oh, was that, what's that called? Phoenix Splash? What was he going for there? Oh, it's a tag team bat on a pole. I missed that. There's going to be a bat on the pole for Nash. He can just reach up and grab it. So can the Giant. Okay. We're going to add a bat to this. Perfect. Oh, Alabama Slam. These are gnarly. Ugh. Every time I see that one didn't look that bad, but those I would not want to take an Alabama Slam. Pulled him up again? Prolong this match. I mean, I would hope that Psychosis is going to catch a quick one on him here. Might be right here. Nope. Oh, that's all it was a corkscrew plancha? I thought it resembled something else. Phoenix splashes, black arrows, red arrows, all those kind of get jumbled in my mind. Which one's which? Spanish fly and poison ranas sometimes get me too. Oh, there it is. And Psychosis wins because La Parka was an idiot. In the record books, it says Psychosis defeats La Parka via idiot. The Alabama Slammer. And then there's the Alabama Jam, which was Bobby Eaton's big leg drop. I can handle the 80s moves, but man, once we started getting into a million different suplexes and shit, I'm like, okay. Sooner or later, you reach the age where you say, I'm not keeping track of that anymore. And I have reached that age. Oh, yeah, just cut Tony Schiavone off right in the middle of speaking there. Rude peacock editing. Okay, here comes the bat holding apparatus. They're placing it. Nuggets. What year was this? 98? No, yeah, Nuggets probably did suck. Mike, yes, Luger was in a wheelchair while he was there. I was really going to go over and actually meet him, but I never got a chance to, and there was just so many people to meet. So he acknowledged, he looked at Elizabeth, though, and looked her up and down with her Brett outfit. He did like that. Brett and Luger weren't very far away from each other, just a few tables. But Luger was with Ron Simmons pretty much the whole time. I think Ron was helping Luger get around. Hmm. A wounded animal. Aren't you glad that we're humans and not like a hyena in the African jungle getting his legs chewed off by a lion while he's still alive? Screaming while lions just start eating you alive. Like, no matter how bad life gets, just be happy the hand you were dealt. You're a human. Shit could be worse. You'd be a fucking giraffe. What a life. So I guess I've never noticed this before, but I guess so the monitors on the announce desk are embedded. Are they in the little cutouts there? And so the announcers are just looking down, calling the matches? Or maybe these things, maybe the screens come up while the matches are on and they lower them for this. Feels like they got a better announce desk than WWE did. They were still pretty low tech back then. Let's go back to the ring. It just feels weird if they had to call the matches like looking straight down. When I was a kid, one of my friends got shot in the eye with a BB gun, and the BB like went in his eye through and like to the side of his head to like you could feel it. You could feel it on the side. So he had to get it like taken out. But part of his recovery after like the surgery to kind of pull it and work it back out of his eye, he had to lay face down for like a full day. So like basically like a massage table that you lay face down, you put your face in one of those things, and he just has to look at the floor. So he took a TV, like a normal 80s TV, and just flipped it upside down and put it under his face. And he was just watching. That's what that whole announce desk reminds me of. You had to be there. But if you saw this dude laying face down, watching the TV, like a 13-inch TV, I laughed for years about that. It was creative. NWO. So it is Nash and Hogan. Things feel like they're starting to get dicey in the NWO. This is probably around the time where they're going to do the Wolfpack split, I'm assuming. I don't think they were doing that yet. Jesus. Is it just me or does that bat seem way too high? I guess maybe not. But it's pretty fucking high up there. I mean, Hogan should just rule himself out of even trying to attempt to retrieve this. Let Nash try. Neither one of these guys are all that light on their feet and limber on the ropes. So we established that Sting won the title at Super Brawl. I mean, Hogan's going to win this title back from Sting, obviously, right? Because he has to drop it to Goldberg in a couple of months. But it is weird just to see Hogan on a random match with no championship. I love that guy dressed as Conan. Look at him. Yeah, I did. Nash is still looking at the bat. I feel like Nash's feet is saying the same thing we are, being like, that thing's high up there. Like, I'm not, no. I have never looked at that Hogan shirt close up. Like, I have no idea what that shirt says on the back. Like, I remember that shirt that Hogan wore, but I would never buy Hogan merch. And I never even cared enough to ever read whatever the hell that shit said on the back of his shirt. I still to this day don't know. He's got one. There it is. It's a little bit reminiscent of like a Bret Hart logo, isn't it? With that skull thing in the middle. Fucking Hogan. Oh yeah, it's Piper, and I feel like I can see Piper on the Tron. No music? There we go. Oh, he's coming out with a giant no shirt on. Look at those shape Piper's in. I think I was so upset that Piper went to WCW. It didn't really make me fully appreciate that Piper was back in wrestling and wrestling on a regular basis, you know? Look at the shape he got himself in for this. Sure. Screams late 90s. It does. I will be right back. Elizabeth is about to leave. I'm going to go say goodbye to her. 2 seconds. All right, I'm back. All right, sorry about that. Just wanted to go wish her well. Oh, and I came back to see Piper in the 3-0 with Hogan kicking him. Good to see Hogan and Piper a whole year and a half after Piper's debut, still feuding with each other. Help me out. We are pro wrestling. When is the last time that Piper and Hogan were ever in the ring together in a match? I guess we got a little bit of that in WWE in 2003. But in terms of like an actual match against each other or with each other, this has got to be one of the last times. Curious how WWE would have used Piper. Like if he wanted to get back in the ring like this in 96 or 97 and he didn't, and he stayed there and he wrestled beyond the backlot brawl match. Giant nails Hogan. Oh, Hogan is getting rocked here by everybody. WCW in WCW was February of 99, so a whole year later. Okay. Jesus. We just watched, I think it was last week's Rivals, right? On A&E was Hogan and Piper. That was a good one. I really like the Sheik biography. That might be my favorite one up there with Dusty. Hmm. Hogan had those punches that Hogan did were good. I mean, he looked like he landed them, but Hogan's up there. Can he even reach this shit? God, Hogan, I'd be shitting my. Look at him. He can't even. It's wow. Don't take a bump off there, Hogan. Oh my God, look at Hogan on the top rope. This is crazy to see. He's got something to hang on to at least. Oh, look at that tan line on him. Holy shit. Smacking Hogan's booty. Look at his butt. Okay, we've got Piper's whipping Nash. I think Nash and Piper had a little bit of a run in WCW as well, behind the scenes. A better show, Mania 1 or 2. I don't know. There's a reason we haven't watched any of those yet on watch-alongs. Is don't particularly love either one. I feel like saying Mania 2 is kind of messed up because that one's so widely despised, but there's a couple of memories I have of that show I feel are greater than WrestleMania 1. And one of the big ones is the Bulldogs winning the titles and the Hogan Bundy cage and Andre winning the Battle Royal. I remember those very vividly. I remember the Animal Steel and Macho Man feud. That happened on that show as well. So I think there was more for me as a fan on WrestleMania 2 than there was WrestleMania 1. Here we go. Calling in the Giant. Go get him. I mean, Giant did not last long in the NWO, did he? He had already been there, done that. Really? We Are Pro Wrestling, you're just loaded with nuggets. I had no idea that fight was the same night. So that was a whole year before this? Well, I guess they've gotten over that because they're working together here. But damn, same night even. Nash was like, because that would be an interesting tag team match or real fight. You know, Shawn and Nash against Piper and Brett. That would be kind of fun. And so maybe Nash was like, if my buddy's gonna lose a fight, I need to win one for the clique. I think Brett and Piper would win because Nash might be able to get the best of Piper. I don't know if it would be as easy for him to get the best of Brett, and I know Piper could beat the shit out of Shawn with no problem at all. So I think Nash would be finding himself in a 2-on-1 situation once Shawn got taken out. I always loved Nash's boot to the throat in the corner. Always one of my favorites. Simple, yet effective, and it looks cool. Ugh. That bat is so fucking high up there. Mountain Time. I don't even think about Mountain Time or Central. It's always East, Pacific and East. Oh, double boot. They both go down. Nice, Mike. Glad you caught up. Yeah, those ads are a bitch. Yeah, Mania 1 has the legendary David Sammartino. What a joke. Mania 1 had some moments. I mean, Sheik and Volkov won the title, and I didn't love that so much. Andre beating Stud is a memory. The main event I'll always remember. But aside from that, I kind of wish it would have been cool if the Tito and Valentine feud was still happening and they could have like blown that off there or something. That would have been better than I think we got Valentine and JYD. Because with Tito winning the belt back to give it to Savage, like why didn't they do that at WrestleMania, you know? Hogan sucks chant, loud one too. Hmm. I don't even think Piper could reach it, even if he climbed up one more rung. Mike, you're in Central. Well, you need to get with it, man. You need to be on one beach or the other. None of this in the middle shit. I'm kidding. Central's fine. Got nothing wrong with Central. One of the benefits to living in Detroit when I was a kid is that, you know, I think it's a little closer to the Central time zone, but it's still East Coast time. And it would stay light out so late in the summer, like way later than here. Like close to 10 o'clock could be light out still. Fucking nuts. Oh my God. Over the top rope goes goes Nash. Sleeper to Hogan. Nobody has gotten the bat yet. Get the bat. Both. Oh yeah, there you go. Lift up Piper. That's how you do it. Teamwork makes the dream work. I mean, they really make you work for this, don't they? You have to climb the actual pole. I didn't know that. I mean, I hope that thing holds. Piper's 240. Pull it down. He's got it. I haven't seen too many pole on a pole matches where you literally have to climb the pole like you're in fifth grade gym. Or maybe that's climb the rope. Well, that was pointless. All that work for the bat. Go grab it before one of the fans realized it's gimmicked. Up here comes Brudeye. Now the disciples chuck the bat in. This is Floyd's grandfather. Oh. Oh, and then on the hip. Oh, wow. Oh, nice. Right in Nash's gut. I was about to say, if he teed off on Piper's hip for real. Oh, handle the bat to the throat. Oh, missed. I like that Piper's tag is hanging, hanging out of his trunks. Tuck your tag in, son. Giant is planking in the corner like a fucking manatee. And here comes, wow. Brutus and Piper, they have some history. And Hogan wins. You know, it was the retirement hair match with Adrian Adonis at WrestleMania 3 that helped transform Beefcake into the barber. Out that hair feud, I don't know if they would have gone in that gimmick with him. Oh, yeah, Nash is pissed about the earlier miscommunication. You hit me in my sexy gut. Yeah, they're all right. Nash is fine with Hogan. It looks like he's gonna power bomb. I hope this one goes okay. Oh, and he turned on him. Okay, so this must. Oh, oh, Jesus! He broke the bat. So what's Nash, a babyface now? Is this when they start the NWO Wolfpack or something? Is this how this all starts? It's got to be, right? You're gonna pay. It's still always weird to see Piper get pinned, but man, he was into the stage of his career now where he was losing sometimes. Oh, we're gonna get a replay of the spanking because that's what we need. I was really hoping to see that again. Almost decapitated. Hogan pins Piper. Tough to watch. Seth, I read that as Jesus doesn't replay that nonsense. Like he would not replay that nonsense. I'm like, what does that mean? Are you going to start spamming the chat with "you are all sinners" and all that shit? I was about to like go in for a block, and then I realized what you meant. You meant the same thing I did. Jesus, don't play that nonsense. We don't need Hogan getting spanked twice. Once is enough. Bischoff says he wants Goldberg versus Punk at All In. Thoughts? Bischoff says a lot of things, and Bischoff is an angry, bitter, insecure person for his obsession over Tony Khan. It's like he can't stand that somebody else is a competitor to WWE, and he criticizes everything Tony Khan does when everything that he criticizes him for, Eric Bischoff was the worst offender of. Time and time again, he's given Tony Khan shit for some shit that he used to do. Like, look in the mirror, dude. Tony Khan's not perfect, but you, of all people, being so harsh when you acted like an immature dickbag for most of your time in charge of WCW. What a joke people thought you were, how you didn't have control of your roster, let people walk all over you, creative control out the ass. It was inmates running the asylum. You were in charge of nothing, even though you were supposed to be. And you're going to criticize Khan? Bro, maybe sit this one out. Because you come off as bitter for some reason when you shouldn't be. You have a lot to be proud of and what you did accomplish. And to take out like frustrations or insecurities or whatever the fuck's going on in your Wyoming noodle out on him, it's one thing to like offer advice, offer criticism or whatever, but there's a stick up his ass about him, and it's weird. This is horrible DDP dubbed music, by the way. I mean, it's a theme on these watch-alongs. We have to plead to Triple H to just pay some asshole to go in the production room, no matter how long it takes, and fix all of these theme music issues on the streaming platform and make it consistent. Whether you dub it or you don't dub it, make that uniform throughout. We've done so many of these watch-alongs. We've seen nights where the theme music is intact like it's always been, and then on other shows, it's dubbed. I'm like, why did they dub it here but not here? And it seems like it's really lazily thrown together, and it needs to be, they need to go in there and organize it. It feels like it's just a jumbled hodgepodge of all of the different video files they have. You know, some of them have the WWE logo blurred out, some of them don't. They just need to get these things back to their original form and then re-edit from there. Get them all raw, and then take out what you want taken out, fix the theme music you want fixed, but just make it consistent. Like, how much could it really cost to do that? I find it hard to believe they don't have the manpower to achieve something like that. I like this match, though, DDP and Raven. Well, I guess we know the outcome here because Raven is going to be coughing up that championship tomorrow to Billy. Rodrigo, I don't like anybody who just comes off bitter and irrationally angry. It's just weird to me. Cornette's always been one of my favorite managers ever. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best. But why he has this vendetta, I have no idea. It just doesn't seem worth it, no matter how many views it gets his podcast from the bottom of the barrel. You know, the wrestling community who come out in droves for that shit and whack off to it and use it as gospel. I'm sure that's making him a little bit of money on the YouTube, but is it really worth that? You know, to sever relationships and respect that you've had with so many other people. You know, a lot of people who you claim to love and respect and be friends with work for that company that you shit on every day. What do they think of this? And are you really okay with just now being an enemy of anyone that associates themselves with that company? And are you really going to twist your words around enough to make it seem like, oh, you're okay with them? It's just you're Tony Khan. You know, I mean, you're pretty hateful in your rhetoric. So I don't see how anybody can take that other than he's got some sort of personal anger or vendetta or whatever. But I would not be willing to sell out that much. If yelling and screaming and acting like a dickbag got me, you know, 500,000 extra followers, I wouldn't do it because it would be exhausting to keep that up. MJF's going to run out of gas doing that stuff too, 24/7. Eventually, you're going to want to be yourself. And I've heard Jim Cornette say on a shoot interview before, you know, about he would never make himself mad in his own home. And I'm like, what the fuck do you think you're doing every damn day? You're screaming into your podcast mic, venting some furious, raging anger over something stupid that shouldn't even bother you at all. What a waste of time. What a waste of brain energy. Oh my God, DDP's jumping off the thing. The first Raven bump didn't look that good. That's why I didn't react to it. But DDP had me scared there. Bales of hay they landed on. Yeah, double axe from a stagecoach. That's never been called before. Ooh, through the fence. Yeah, you take away the stupid shit that Cornette's irrationally obsessed with, then he offers some pretty unique and pretty damn brilliant insight. But he is way too horrible for my liking now. And that's a shame. Everything this break, man, watch out. Those are probably not finished boards at all. Splinters oh plenty. Oh God, what a bump. He's gonna suplex him. Where? On the website. That's awesome. He got suplexed on the website. He could have two meanings. You're on the website getting slammed, or you're slamming someone on the actual physical website itself, which I guess would just be a server somewhere. Oh, I want that Spring Stampede cutout logo there. That's cool. Looks like a coaster at a bar. Oh, yeah. Staggerly, he almost got taken out by a suplex and Raven on the website. Raven just goes, oh, shit. That was a gimmicked table that broke early. Well, at least there's another one. They can try again. You have to go through it for real now. Oh, and it didn't break. What a way to expose that you gimmicked a table where you touch one and it breaks, and then you literally frog splash a guy on the other one and it doesn't budge. You could hear Raven go, God damn it. That was hilarious. See, some botches are funny. If that was AEW, you'd have an army of dickweeds immediately running to social media to post a video of that. This company calls itself big time and does that. I'm like, no, it's a botch. It's what happens in every company across the world in every time period known to man. It's not exclusive to anyone. And you're a fool if you think it is. Oh. DDP does not want more cowbell. He wants less. He does not have a fever. I think Cornette actually gone off on a fan who said he tried to attack Omega for him. Cornette's not going to get any brownie points for that. It's Cornette's language and rhetoric and his tone and how impressionable he is on idiots that's making them do that in the first place. You know, he's sending them out to war and then going to try not to claim responsibility for it. Say, oh, you shouldn't do that. No shit. But he puts these things in these fans' heads. And that's the same type of shit we see in politics. We get kids getting gunned down every single day in school, and these right-wing morons are worried about a fucking drag show. And they do such a good job of pushing this fear and this hate that it makes the idiots, which is a very large portion of their base, go out and do violent things. And it's the same thing, you know? That dude shot that kid that knocked on his door. He sits and watches Fox News every day. And if a black kid knocks on your door, he must be gunned down. If anybody that you don't know knocks on your door, you must shoot them. Like, what the fuck? Well, luckily, that's a gimmicked I almost said chicken kitchen sink because it dented pretty. There's no way, man. The dent that he put in the bottom of that thing, the knobs remained intact. I kind of liked it. I didn't catch Mark Curtis losing the stuff. He's all disheveled. Lost his tie. I was just about to say, I didn't notice when he lost the tie, but this is a legitimate war. I'm guessing it happened in the, that sick boy. Kidman hits Raven. Oh, what a reaction by Mark Curtis. Kidman comes out of nowhere with a frog splash, and Curtis goes, just looked at him like, did you for real do that? Ugh. This is not going to end with a small package. Nope. I mean, Raven's going to have, I mean, I guess, is it just going to be the flock numbers that are going to do Page in here, or is there going to be something else needed to beat him? Oh, and Van Hammer takes down Raven. Ugh. Yeah, one wrestler I didn't know much about was Sick Boy. I didn't know much of him before he joined the flock. I do think it was in ECW for a short time, I think, but I didn't see him again after this, and I just didn't know. I saw way more of Ron Reese than I did Sick Boy in my wrestling watching days. God, he's such a huge dude. Reese, I hate to ask, he's still with us, yes or no? Nope. I just love that he's just this gigantic grunge guy. Imagine if he was the bass player in Nirvana, Chris Ivan Kovac or something, whatever his name is. What if it was Reese instead? Oh, stop sign to the head. Stop sign to the head. Stop sign to everybody. Stop. You get a stop sign, and you get a stop sign. Oh, what a diamond cutter. This looks like this is going to be it. Who's this? Who is that? Who is that? Is that Ray Traylor? Who the hell was that? It is Ray Traylor. Oh, no, that's not Ray Traylor. Oh, that. Oh, it's Horace. It's Horace. You have a dirty Horace mouth. Okay. Is this Horace's debut? Yeah, maybe Horace hasn't gotten there yet. Kind of forgot about Horace. And Raven retains. Enjoy your last night with that belt, Raven. I wish there was a way you could rib the belt somehow. Like if you knew you were going to drop it to somebody the next night, if you could like tuck a sardine behind the plate just so the whole thing stunk the whole time. Here's your belt. Enjoy riding in the car with that. Seems like something Owen would do. I love the stop signs to the head. Doink. Doink. God, it looked like a really skinny big boss man for a minute, but so Horace Hogan's debut helped Raven retain the title for one more day. So I guess he would have a short-lived run with the flock here before being adopted by Hogan and being brought in that way. Okay, so they already know this match is happening. Oh, yeah. Shit. Thank you. Yeah, Gene Mean said that earlier, Victor. He said that you stole that belt. I thought he maybe just meant in a finish. I didn't know he actually just stole the title. So that was DDP was the champion defending there and he lost it. Okay, I didn't know that. Holy shit. See, I'm talking too much. I don't listen to the announcers. And now it's time for the main event, Stinger and Savage. We'd have to wait a little longer on that DDP Goldberg match. That might have been kind of fun to have on Nitro, but the Raven match was really good from what I remember. We have to wait till Halloween Havoc to get Goldberg and DDP, right? All right, Michael Buffer is here to bring in our competitors. Fox Star Killer, I don't know when Ray Traylor officially left, but it was probably right around this time because he'd be showing up in the fall in WWE. Okay, so this is a babyface match. I repeat, no disqualification. A no disqualification match should be you're not allowed to be disqualified. If you are, you lose. So then it would just be a match. I always thought Michael Buffer looked a little bit like Vince McMahon. They did a bit on Raw in like '98. Some stupid shit for Vince, like a tribute to Vince segment or something. And Vince came out in a black tie tuxedo, and I was like, damn, he looks a lot like Michael Buffer. Oh, shit. Sorry, Tito. I just kicked you. All right, so here comes Savage. So crazy that he's with her. Just insane. Go to the ring, Elizabeth. Like, I don't think I was appreciative of this at the time that it was Savage and Liz. It was eerie to me to see them together and very surreal, knowing that they were no longer married. But, you know, back involved in wrestling angles together was just mind blowing, but I don't think I was quite appreciative of it. Because I found myself being a much bigger WWE fan. But they were like my favorites ever, man. 10 years prior to this, it was all about them. And seeing Elizabeth kind of different, you know, she was so quiet. She was still pretty quiet here, but instead of wearing a nice dress and not saying anything, she's wearing leather. You know, she's a heel, or she can be a heel. She was a heel a few times in WCW. She was great. Just as hot here as she was in 10 years earlier in the 80s. That belt looks good on Sting, though. It's the weirdest introduction sometimes. A man with no affiliation to no organization. Well, I'm like, well, he's going to be Wolfpack in a minute. Savage just taking it right to him. Here we go. Randy Savage and Sting. I know this match has happened a couple of times. I don't know what what the current run between these two guys, who's had more wins and losses in one-on-one encounters. But WCW really started getting inconsistent with his NWO shit because, you know, to have Savage, I guess Luger never joined, did he? Oh no, yes he did. He joined the Wolfpack. So all three men that fought against them and Bash at the Beach when the NWO formed joined the NWO. I feel like Savage should have been almost with Hogan, you know? I feel like Savage should have been with them from the start, like Hogan, Savage, Hall, and Nash, like the four of them. The Mega Powers and the Outsiders together. Savage has got that black dye job going on. Savage still selling the arm. Yeah, we got wagon wheels out there. And I think it was the previous year's Spring Stampede where it was Savage and DDP, right? In '97, they had that great match that kind of was like this too. They were all brawling into this. Oh, damn. I was about to say he's laying on some pyro. And he's on his some pyro up the ass would not be a pleasant experience. If you are near fireworks, keep them away from your butt. You know, you get throated on that. You have to remember in your brain that you're landing on wood, not ropes, and you don't take the bump. What if you just briefly forgot? Ugh, all that hay all over. Yeah, that shit's horrible. You got that debris all over your body. You'll start smelling like zoo dirt. That's what Bobby Heenan thinks hay is, zoo dirt. That's great. We should not let fans, especially boys who are 19, be shirtless in the front row. Ooh, that's a one exquisite mullet in the front row. Show him again. Savage using the ropes. No, I have never been hit by fireworks. We were setting some off when I was a kid when I lived in North Carolina, and a Roman candle fell over and shot into our garage. And we had to really make sure that nothing caught fire. I remember one time we were at a lake, and I shot like a bottle rocket into the lake, and it went. You could see it go under the water, and then went like poof, like under the water. It exploded. It made like a muffled sound. It was really cool. Like that was awesome. I mean, maybe as it's going down, it creates an air pocket or something where the flame can stay lit, and it goes for a little while and it still exploded. It was pretty funny. That's the best fireworks story I have. I don't have any great Joe Dirt fireworks stories. Snakes and sparklers. You're going to stand there and tell me you don't have some screaming bamboozles or whatever? Glad, Sting, you got a little bit of the hay still in your hair. Otherwise, Savage, you do too. I honestly don't like the jet black on Savage. I thought he just would have been better if he just let it be more brown like it was in WWE. So I think I'd rather just look old than look like an old guy who's dyeing his hair. There are very few tape libraries left, Mike, that WWE does not own. I think they've, including the AWA, they've got about everything. For a while there, it was looking like they might be big suitors to pick up the TNA library, and it would be nice if they could. If that company ever folds, if I'm Tony Khan, I may be jumping on that because at some point you're going to need a streaming platform, and it would be nice if you had some of that, if you own some of that footage, especially with wrestlers who currently in your company work there or have worked there before. It's good documentary material, and footage you can use for B-roll stuff. All that stuff's good. Plus, you can just play the shows outright and have them available on your for streaming to entice subscribers. Hey, if you subscribe to us, you can watch every TNA show ever. Be a good reason to do it. Oh. Oh, Sting. God, this match was 25 years ago. Does not seem right. Get off of him. Oh, he styled man. And little Nate got taken out anyway. I was surprised Sting stopped himself on the splash, but now pile driver. Pile driver. Mike, yeah, there's indie promotions all over the place. There's one here locally in San Diego. There's a couple locally in San Diego. I've been meaning to check one out. There's a bunch in LA. Liz, look at Liz use a chair. Protect her. Oh, no. No. Oh, my heart. Oh, the pain, the wrenching, the grinding pain. Oh, here comes Hogan. Oh, he's going to stop Savage. Isn't Savage in the NWO? I'm confused. Oh, Liz. Just check on Liz. Sting, I thought I liked you. You're dead to me. I don't really care what happens. I'm just worried about Elizabeth. Yeah, I don't know what the point of a ref bump in an ODQ match is. Probably so you can get a pin without the referee being there. Or without the referee seeing it. And of course, Nate does not. Here comes Nash. Savage going to win the title here. Jackknife to Sting. He's going to help Savage beat him. Just picked him up like potatoes and threw him over there. And I knew World Heavyweight Champion Savage wins the title. I'm glad we watched this. This is way better than I thought it would be. I get to see Savage win the title with Miss Elizabeth in his corner. I didn't even know we were going to watch that. I just glazed over the results quickly. Or the match card, I mean, before I put this on the poll, and it looked like a fun one. And I kind of did not know about all these details, and that is awesome. Nash, you are flat out abused. God damn, dude. He's so mean to little Nate. What is the point of this? Oh, he's giving little Nate the belt. He tells him to give it to Savage. He's like, I'm injured. I got a concussion, man. Dastardly. Nash. That's all Ed Leslie says. Oh, now he's talking. So we know that Hogan's going to wind up beating Savage, right? Because Hogan's going to drop the belt to Goldberg. But yeah, that was fun. That was a way more interesting and fun show than I thought it would be. And I'm really glad we watched that. So thanks for being here again with us on Sundays. I will figure out a little bit earlier which one we're going to do next week. We might even be doing two, possibly for members only. So I'll give that some thought. We'll put that stuff on the community tab up on YouTube within the next day or so. So keep a lookout for that. And I'll figure that out soon. So we'll be here next week in between the draft. So other than that, looks like Raw tomorrow is pointless. What's the point? We have the draft coming up on Friday. What are they really going to do tomorrow other than kill time? So I'm not going to plan a stream tomorrow unless tomorrow afternoon it looks like we're going to be set for a big show or something major happens or we have any earth-shattering news. We'll come up and do a review. Otherwise, we'll just be here midweek with another video that I'm working on right now that I'm excited to release pretty soon. Just not sure how much longer it's going to take me to finish it up, but it might be in just a few days. So keep a lookout for that. But otherwise, I should catch you guys in just a couple of days. Thanks again for being here. As always, this was really fun. And we will be here again next week doing it for sure. So